So the time is 4:04 PM, and we will call the meeting to order. If we could call the roll, please.
Commissioner Shea?
Present.
Commissioner Lemon?
Present.
Commissioner Gregg?
Here.
Commissioner Speedia?
Presente.
And we have Alderman O'Brien and Alderman Dowd.
And the mayor couldn't be with us this evening and sends his regrets.
All right. Commissioner Lemon, do I have a motion?
I motion to approve the agenda as submitted.
Any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
The motion passes. Commissioner Gregg, do you have a motion?
I motion to approve the minutes of the Board of Public Works meeting of April 22nd, 2025.
Is there any discussion? Being none, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, is there any public comment today? No public comment. We will move on to Commissioner, we're going to the Board of Aldermen referrals section. Commissioner Speedia, do you have a motion?
Resolution R-25-144, authorizing the mayor and city treasurer to issue bonds not to exceed the amount of $2 million for the Walnut Street Oval intersection project and West Pearl Street streetscaping.
Yes.
Good afternoon. Dan Hudson, City Engineer. So this is a resolution for a bond as noted. It addresses two projects. The total is $2 million, broken down into $600,000 towards the Walnut Oval project, and then the balance towards West Pearl Street streetscape. Walnut Oval project is progressing. The costs are coming in a little higher than we anticipated, so this is to cover additional city matched. Again, that project's at 80/20. With 80% of the project cost coming from the feds and 20% local match. So this would cover additional local match. Then the $1.4 million would be towards the West Street streetscape project, West Pearl Street, sorry. That project we have bid out a couple times. Price keeps coming in high, around $3 million-ish. So we had some money previously set aside for that, but we need additional money to make that project come to fruition. I'd be happy to address any questions about either project.
Any questions or discussion? Alderman
Yeah.
O'Brien.
Through the chair to Engineer Hudson, are we going to let the public know? I know this is probably going to come to my committee, infrastructure, correct?
Correct.
So we could probably look at it at that time, but I would like to give the heads up to the people that what we do, and this is something positive for that neighborhood, to put it out there publicly. If we offer ring dings to the union leader, maybe they'll send a reporter, I don't know, but, you know.
Yeah, I don't know about ring dings, but we did hold two public meetings for the Walnut Oval project, and we are in the process of contacting all the director butters who will be directly impacted by the project to speak specifics with them. And as to the West Pearl Street streetscape, there was a design. I can't remember what public meetings we did or didn't do, but I think we brought it to this body. But certainly before we go out and rebid that, we could do that again. But we do hope that this funding will make that project a reality.
There's a public hearing next week on this and go into budget right afterwards. Are you going to present what actually is going to be done and be there to speak at the public hearing?
Certainly could be. I'll interface with Director Cummings on that to see who we'd like to present. But yeah, we'll figure that out. We can be there.
I'm pretty sure questions are going to come up.
Sure. Yep. Understood.
All right, any additional questions, comments? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Commissioner Lemon, do you have a motion?
I move to authorize Resolution R-25-145, which authorizes the mayor and city treasurer to issue bonds not to exceed the amount of $1 million for signal coordination and implementation.
Engineer Hudson.
Thank you. Yeah, again, Dan Hudson, City Engineer. This, again, is local match towards a project that we submitted a grant application on and has been included in the state's 10-year plan. The project is to address some of our coordinated signal systems, making improvements, try to, make better pedestrian accommodations, but also traffic flowing better. We envision putting more camera systems up for detection, a number of signals. We've done a lot of that on DW Highway, but we really haven't done much of that on Amherst Street and some of the other corridors. So that's the project. It'll be coming up in the future in the 10-year plan, and we want to be ready to have our local match in place so we can move forward with the project when it gets here. Be happy to address any questions.
Commissioner Speedy.
Thank you. Have we had any issues with federal funds being dispersed on any of our other projects?
To date, I'm not aware of any. Our reimbursement requests have been being paid, I guess you'd say. We submit those on a recurring basis because that's the arrangement. You do the work, you pay for the work, and then you seek for the 80% reimbursement. That's the normal process, and to date, we've had no issues. We do have some active construction contracts ongoing, and we haven't had any hiccups to date.
Great.
Any additional questions? I have a question. For this project, you say it's in the 10-year, about how far out do you see it being in there?
So this is a CMAQ project, and it shows starting preliminary engineering in 2026, which the state's fiscal year 26 starts October 1st, I believe, of this year.
Okay, so it's near.
It could come up pretty quick. That's why we did put it in. We did seek this authority at this time, because we do expect that project might get up and running within this calendar year.
That's great. Appreciate that insight. Thank you. Any additional questions, comments? No. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Commissioner Gregg, do you have a motion?
A motion to authorize the mayor and city treasurer to issue bonds not to exceed $5,500,000 for the Public Works Division garage design.
Okay, I'll speak to that.
Sure.
If I can, Commissioner. So this essentially is to further the design of the DPW garage. We do need some more funding for the design, and it's also for early packages that we may need to put out for things that may have a long lead time. So that's what this is for. And there will be, I did also want to mention, this will be discussed in greater detail at a May 28th meeting at 5:30. We will be having a joint meeting of the Board of Public Works and Infrastructure, again, on May 28th at 5:30. So we'll discuss more of that. And if the commissioners could let me know if anybody has a conflict with that date, that would be helpful too.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through you, to the director. When we vacate your current facility, is there any negotiations with any party right now on land use for your footprint right now? Is it time to start negotiations with it?
For the street department? We have not. I know that Conway has some interest in a sheet or two of ice, but other than that, there have been no other negotiations.
Okay.
So.
Because, if I may ask Alderman Dowd, maybe that might help on the total project. I don't know if we can sell it to Conway.
I was under the impression that the land that Conway's on still belongs to the city. Is that not true? I think they lease it.
I believe so.
So it would be
okay.
the same situation if they expand the ice. They would lease the rest of the property.
I
So I don't think we're selling it.
And I think they just want a piece of it. They don't want the whole thing, so.
I come up with these great ideas every once in a while.
And any additional questions or comments? Right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed? Nay? Everybody's good? Good, okay. All right, Commissioner Espitia, do you have a motion?
I do. I move to authorize Resolution R25-151, or sorry, Resolution R25-152, authorizing the mayor and city treasurer to issue bonds not to exceed $3 million for Holman Stadium improvements.
Good evening, everyone. Brian Conant, the park superintendent. This is exciting news. I'm glad to see we're going to get some funding to put into the crown jewel that is Holman Stadium. I would say that I hope this is the first round of some funding, and I would say under this, we could cover the replacement of the lights that are from 1948, and the fire suppression system badly needs to be upgraded. I would believe that those two things would run over $2 million, and after that point, I'd probably like to figure out where the rest of the money would be spent after that. So, be happy to answer any questions if there are any.
Alderman Down.
Been addressed any of the structural issues with the stadium itself under this money, or is it just going to?
I think in talking to Director Photo, I think the first two things we'd like to prioritize is the fire suppression system, which actually broke this past winter, caused a vast amount of erosion damage. There was actually an insurance claim for about $119,000. So we'd like to do that. I don't think there'll be enough money to go after the seating bowl, Alderman Dowd, and fix those issues that are causing the corrosion underneath the stadium. And underneath the stadium needs to be sandblasted and painted very badly too. So
Restrooms and locker rooms.
I'd like to see how much money is left over after this fire suppression system and the light systems before we develop a list, Alderman Dowd.
I would present it in the fire suppression system as this thing's broken, we need to replace it, and it's critical.
Yes.
And the lights, by the way, especially the one leaning over.
Yes, Alderman Dowd.
All right, any additional questions or comments? No. Okay. All in favor?
Actually,
Oh,
I have a
yes,
question.
Commissioner Speedy.
When do you foresee, once you get funding, when do you foresee the construction or the installation of the lights and fire suppression system?
We've gotten I'm still waiting back on some preliminary numbers. Commissioner Spedia, the last time we got the lights quoted, it was around $900,000. That quote now is probably about 2.5 years old. So I'd really like to get a better handle on what these things are going to cost. And we need to get the money appropriated so that way we can get on someone's schedule. So I really can't answer that at this time.
No worries, thank you.
Welcome.
And I imagine we'll have that come back to us when the actual expense is incurred? Is that how it would work? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Good. All right. Any additional comments, questions? No. Thank you so much for coming here tonight. And is there, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Say, if I
Yes.
could just say, that was a really good point. These resolutions are for bonding only, not for doing the actual work. So the bonds need to be sold, and so the Board of and that goes up through the Board of Aldermen, and that they're just referring it to you to get positive or negative recommendations. So you're correct. Contracts, everything will be coming back to this board for approval. Yes.
Very good. Thank you. Commissioner Lemon, do you have a motion?
I move to motion that we authorize Resolution R25-153, which authorizes the mayor and city treasurer to issue bonds not to exceed $3,550,000 for fire and street department capital equipment reserve fund SURF purchases.
Good evening, everyone. Michael Rush, Fleet Superintendent. Only speaking on behalf of the Street Department Capital Reserve request for funding. These will fund 2 of our primary snow fighters and 1 of our snow fighter loaders that's used year-round. They are coming up on replacement, so funding is kind of important for this. Some of these trucks are close to 2 years out from ordering. We have already done our pre-evaluations, and they do warrant replacement. So the funding for that would be needed. Happy to answer any questions you have.
Any questions? Yes, Alderman Dowd.
One thing is, in discussion with finance on SURF, when you're determining the replacement time of vehicles going forward, we want everybody now to take into account how long it takes from the time you order it to the time you have it, because like fire trucks now is 4 years.
Yeah, we are seeing with the Freightliner brand, Freightliner and Mack specifically, we're encroaching on that 2-year mark, but they've been pretty good about undercutting that. We've been getting it, 12 to 16 months is really more realistic. Not too many issues. Some of that was coming back. We did see a little bit of part issues a little bit last year, so that caused some delays, but it looks like they're back on track as of right now, so between 12 and 16 months seems to be about right now.
They totally built in the United States?
No, various sections of the world, actually. The parts come from all over.
But in this particular case, then we'll see Jeff again, because he's going to present each one of these line items, breathing apparatus, Freightliner's Caterpillar loader, for purchase at that
Yes.
point? Okay, got it.
Yes, you will see this again.
Okay.
Not the breathing apparatus.
Fair enough.
That would be for fire.
I prefer not to speak on behalf of the chiefs.
All right, any additional questions or comments? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. All right, Commissioner Gregg, do you have a motion?
I motion to approve the user warrants as presented.
All in favor? I guess, is there any discussion? Do we, no? Yeah, no.
That
Very
would
good.
be a first.
Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. Commissioner Skeetia, do you have a motion?
I do. I move to approve the purchase of one Scorpion 2 Metro TMA SW-TK0100 truck mounted crash barrier package from Viking Sieves of Williston, Vermont for the total purchase price of $33,400. Funding will be through the Department 161 Street, Fund General, Account Category 71, Equipment.
Thank you. John Ibarra, Superintendent of Streets. Good evening. This is a big safety item that we've been looking to purchase for a few years and finally have the ability to do so. It's a truck-mounted attenuator. You see them on the highway. They're built to absorb any impact from behind. It'll be used in our work zones just to give the guys added security on the job site. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions or discussion?
Just a comment. It's money well spent if it increases the safety of our crews out there, so very good.
The national average is 54 lives lost every year in the work zone. Just read up on that.
Very good. Any additional questions or comments? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. All right, Commissioner Lemon, do you have a motion?
I move to approve the purchase of one Labrie Expert semi-automated Packer waste collection vehicle from Sanitary Equipment of Stoughton, Mass. in the amount of $495,249.96 pursuant to the Sourcewell contract. Funding will be through Department 168, Solid Waste, Fund, Bond, Activity, SURF.
Michael Rush, Fleet Superintendent. The scheduled SURF purchase for solid waste is for a side loader that operates in the city every day for a solid waste department, picking up recyclables. There is times where it will also be used in the park department to pick up trash in our parks. The side loader that it will be replacing will be retired once this one comes and delivered, which is about roughly 18 months to get this one built. I'm happy to answer any questions you have about this purchase.
Are there any questions, comments? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Commissioner Gregg, do you have a motion?
Motion to approve the purchase of one wireless mobile lift system package from RE Phoenix Incorporated, Lebanon, Ohio, for a price of $102,875.28 pursuant to the Sourcewell contract number 013020-ARP. Funding will be through departments 161 Streets, contract 168 Solid Waste, 169 Wastewater, Funds General Solid Waste and Wastewater, account category 71 Equipment.
Michael Rush, Fleet Superintendent. This purchase is to replace our mobile lift columns that we currently have that are coming up to end of life. The last year's inspection, it was mentioned to us that they will be discontinuing parts in the next year or two. These are also electric over hydraulic lifts, so they're wired individually, so it actually creates kind of a trip hazard. The lifts that we're proposing to replace them with are wireless. We already currently run one set, exactly the same, so they're all able to interlink with each other and be used in various different manners. It's 100% electric, so there's no hydraulic oil, and the safety system is the best on the market. It's similar to what they use in elevators. And we use that to lift up anything from a pickup truck to a loaded plow truck or trash truck. So they're very universal. Happy to answer any questions you have on this item.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Commissioner Espitia, do you have a motion?
I move to approve the purchase of one Labrie Atomizer waste collection vehicle from Sanitary Equipment of Staunton, Mass. in the amount of $496,875.80 pursuant to the Sourcewell contract. Funding will be through Department 168 Solid Waste Fund Bond Activity SURF.
Can I just say, I just want to mention one thing that I should have mentioned at the beginning. You do have a goldenrod copy before you. The two items that were added were motion C and D under fleet. So those were not originally in your packet, and I just wanted to point that out before the superintendent speaks to them.
Michael Rush, Fleet Superintendent. This Labrie Atomizer will be replacing some of our older McNeilis units. Those are those one-arm trash collectors that you see in everybody's neighborhood. It's used for daily operations. They are nearing the end of replacement life. Hopefully we'll get some trade-in value at some point on those. And this is a little bit different than the one that we currently run, but it's going to be better than the ones that we currently run with a better warranty and better maintenance plan. Happy to answer any questions you have on this purchase.
Any questions?
Where do we typically trade the old ones into? Like, what does that look like?
So once they come around again, we'll either sell them at auction or we'll try to trade them in. We try to spread these trash trucks out a little bit so they're not all bought at the same time. So typically what we'll try to do is before we have them get to end of life, we'll try to get an assessment done on them and see if we can put them towards the purchase of a new one.
Okay.
Having them be CNG, the market is kind of hard to trade in on that. But if we keep them in pretty good condition, there is some value there, but sometimes it gets a little tough.
So this price right here doesn't reflect any sort of trade-in that we...
This current price, no.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any additional questions? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Commissioner Lemon, do you have a motion?
I motion to approve the purchase of one 2024 Nissan Leaf for use in the engineering department. Purchase will be from Team Nissan of Manchester, New Hampshire for the purchase price of $23,971. Funding will be through Department 160 Admin Engineering Fund Trust Activity SURF.
So this is a scheduled purchase that was under the FY26, and I believe they went over this in last night's meeting. That's why it's before you tonight, to try to get a savings on purchasing early. So this is an addition for the engineering department for their inspector. And I believe the last Nissan Leaf we purchased was around $28,000. So this is a leftover, comes with the same warranty, and we save a little bit of money. Happy to answer any questions you have on this purchase.
Any questions? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Commissioner Gregg, do you have a motion?
I motion to approve the contract with Sprague Flooring of Dover, New Hampshire to epoxy all 3 City of Nashua pool locker room floors for an amount not to exceed $71,834.37. Funding will be through Department 177 Parks Fund, Capital Activity, citywide pool epoxy floors.
Good evening. Brian Conant, Superintendent of the Parks Department. As you're well aware, the city has 3 pools. Each pool has a locker room, has bathroom facilities, areas to change. These floors are all currently concrete. They've been painted over the years. The paint constantly wears out because of the amount of traffic. And it also, the floors have developed cracks over the years, which have become problematic and hazardous. And the other thing is, with these painted concrete floors, they get very slick. And obviously, when people are going in and out of there, they become wet. So we've looked at this. This went out to bid. Sprague came in with the lowest bid, and we'd like to move forward with this and get the locker rooms epoxied at the end of this pool season. That's when it would start, roughly around the end of August. Be happy to answer any questions on this topic.
Commissioner Lehman.
Do you do anything to the epoxy to make it less slippery? Like, do you put ridges or something in it?
There's a little bit of grit in it. We're not going to do any flake because I've told it's harder to clean with the flake and it's not going to last as long. So there will be a little grit, but it's going to be a solid gray color. Okay?
All right, any additional questions? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Commissioner Espitia, do you have a motion?
Move to approve the purchase of a 2025 Toro 7500 Z-Master from Turf Products Corp. of Enfield, Connecticut for a price of $34,117.37 pursuant to the Sourcewell contract number 18696-CEC. Funding will be through Department 177 Parks Department Fund, General Account Category 71 Equipment.
Brian Conant, Superintendent of the Parks Department. We're going to use this mower heavily, pretty much entirely at Greeley Park. We currently now work out of the Division of Public Works headquarters here on 848 West Hollis Street. So it's changed the dynamics of our operations. My first year on the job, we would use a big mower, a 5910, to mow Greeley Park. And now that we're here, it's one of the further parks away for us to get to. This is going to enable the Greeley Park attendant to mow the park by themselves, which I think will aid to the efficiency of our operation. I'd be happy to answer any questions on this topic. Or motion, I should say.
Commissioner Espitia.
You see, given all the rain we've gotten, you see like more green basically, and more more vegetation.
The grass has been growing at a rapid pace this spring due to the amount of rain. During some rain events, we're able to mow. During some rain events, Commissioner Espitia, we cannot. And when we lose days, it shows pretty rapidly.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's been a hard spring, to answer your question.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any additional questions? All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Commissioner Lemon, do you have a motion?
I motion to award the contract to renovate the Greeley Park band shell to Cobb Hill Construction Incorporated of Concord, New Hampshire, in the amount of $242,895. Funding will be through Department 177 Parks Fund, Capital Activity, Greeley Park Improvements.
Good evening, Brian Conant, Superintendent of the Parks Department. This money is going to be used to renovate the Greeley Park Band Shell, which hosts the concerts during the Summer Fun Series and several other events throughout the course of the season. The band shell is in pretty rough shape. The side panels have become rotten. The framing has become rusted. This is going to go ahead and alleviate all those issues. Sandblasting, painting, resealing and power washing the concrete. And I think at the end of it, we'll have something that'll, hold up for, a long period of time. So I'd be happy to answer any questions on this. It did go out to bid, as you can see, so.
Any questions? Alderman O'Brien.
Thank you. Through the chair, if I may. Does the band shell at Greeley Park under any sound limitations still?
Yes, Alderman O'Brien.
Do you follow up, if I may? Please. Do you find, I agree with investing this money to, bring it up. But the issue is at hand. Do you find venues cannot participate at the band show because of those restrictions? I went once to an event, And there was somebody running around with a decimeter, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
checking the sound value, and I thought that was, come on, don't you have a better life? But, you know.
I would agree with you, Alderman O'Brien. There are certain sound restrictions that we have, just similar to Stello Stadium. There's a certain volume we don't go over. And yes, to answer your question, there are limitations. Whether or not...
Correctly, it's not limiting you and,
I don't think it limits on how many people want to rent the band shell,
okay.
but, you know, we're not going to have Ozzy come in, so...
The reason is if we need to take a step back and readdress it, that's what I'm saying.
No, I don't think so. I think replacing the soundboards will keep the neighbors on Swart Terrace a little happier. So I think it'll buffer the sound more. Alderman O'Brien.
Any additional questions? So on the sound restriction, so new soundboard, is there going to be new speakers too?
No, we replaced the speakers about 2 years ago, Alderman Shea. We are not going to be replacing the speakers with this project. So,
Because they were in rough shape.
yeah, we replaced the security lights and the speakers about 2 years ago.
Have you seen the renderings for the full construction of that band shell?
No, I have not seen any.
It's fascinating, and I did not know this, and I came across the information over all the many years of dabbling in Nashua. That band shell, from what I understand, and you may know, and correct me if I'm wrong, architecturally was supposed to be more complex. The original design was for a band shell that evoked the sails of a ship, from what I understand, and it was stopped mid-progress, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was stopped mid-progress. So what we presently have there is what would you call it, the frame of the band shell. We have a roof, we have a frame. There is a bigger design that was never implemented because it was stopped midway. And again, correct me if I'm wrong, you may understand differently and more correctly. The reason that it was not completed was due to opposition from the neighborhood. So we had a project that went halfway and then was stopped in the middle of it. The band shell is functional, but it's probably not as good as it would have been at directing sound. And it's probably not as good as it would have been at protecting the wood panels from elements. Just a bit of insight.
Yeah. Thank you very much for sharing that. I was unaware.
Is that all fair on the history?
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. I have similar questions regarding the decibel restrictions at the location. It's what is it, a 280-acre park, something like that?
I don't know off the top of my head. It's close.
It's huge. It's a beautiful space, and it is one of the best natural amphitheaters for free community events. I have similar concerns. I've been at events, perhaps it's better now with the speakers. I imagine that it is, because those speakers were in very rough shape.
They were.
I'd be interested to see what it's like now. I've been to events at Greeley, at the Halloween event, but none of the concert type stuff. Our kids aren't at the age where they're like able to sit and pay that much attention in a big, wide, distracting environment. So I can't say that I've taken it in and where it's at now, but for some time now, I have also wondered if we should be having this discussion. I think where you brought it up, I wanted to share in the sentiment. That's all. Any additional discussion or questions?
I'd like to invite you to our DPW Day, June 7th, so you can experience the new speakers for yourself. So,
Appreciate that. Thank you.
If I may, Commissioner Shea, my comments were more directed as if you live next to the ballpark, don't complain about the cheering when the home team hits a home run. You know, it's got to happen.
Yeah. Well, I will further clarify that and the way that we are now in our attendance or lack of changing at Greeley Park has so much more to do with a small opposition of people who feel that it will interfere with their life, when you are absolutely correct. They have come to a neighborhood with a big, beautiful park that should have kids laughing, playing, music playing, people running around it and having a great time. That happens, it could be a little better, and I've always felt that way. So yes, and. Yeah. All right, any additional discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, are we at Commissioner Lemon?
I move to
Thank you.
approve the sewer service permits and fees as submitted.
Engineer Hudson? Oh, you suppose you don't have anything
Yeah, I
else?
usually don't speak much to this unless there's questions, but I'm happy to
I'm not
address
usually
them.
sitting here. All in favor?
Aye.
Commissioner Gregg?
I move to approve the poll license petition as listed in the staff report.
All in favor?
Aye.
Commissioner Spezia?
Move to authorize the request of owner JFC Real Estate LLC of Bedford, New Hampshire for one building service connection to service 2 lots, lots H-107 and H-627, with the recommended stipulation.
So we do have somebody here to speak to this. It's Tom Zajac from HSI. I'll have him speak to this request.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Tom Zajac. I'm a civil engineer with Heener Swanson, 3 Congress Street here in Nashua. Here this afternoon representing JFC Real Estate. I think the memo from Engineer Hudson, as well as my letter, which is in the packet, summarizes what's going on or what the request is. I'll just give you a brief summary. There's 2 lots that represent, that are owned by JFC Real Estate, my client, related to the Best Ford dealership on Amherst Street. There are 2 lots, 627, which is the existing Best Ford dealership that was built 20-plus years ago. Recently, JFC also purchased the Uno's Restaurant, which was recently demolished, with the plan of constructing a new 1-story, 25,000 square foot service center. This service center would add additional capacity to service vehicles from customers at Best Ford. It would not really be client-facing. It would be, again, to augment their existing services. The existing Uno service ties in on the opposite side of Amherst Street. We're 5 lanes wide there. So instead of ripping out that old line and connecting a new line in, what we would like to do and what's proposed is to tie in the service, sewer service for the new service center into the existing sewer line in front of Best Ford. So these are 2 separate lots commonly owned. Because they are 2 separate lots, we run into a problem with the ordinance. As I understand it, the board has the ability to waive that requirement or to allow the project to move forward. This will obviously eliminate the costs and the traffic disruption of trenching across Amherst Street in that busy section. And there's no lot merger here just because of financing terms because of that Uno's lot. So respectfully ask for your approval tonight to move forward with the project as designed. Thank you.
Alderman O'Brien?
Thank you. Through the chair to direct a photo. Would this come before infrastructure?
No, it would not.
So you have the authority to do this?
Where Public Works has the authority, correct?
Okay.
Yes.
I just wondered with another property entrenching, it makes sense. It's shorter run, but,
So we can do things here in this board. We have power.
well, you got to keep that stuff moving. Yeah.
Alderman Dow?
Yeah, as a Ward 2 Alderman, I don't want you going across Amherst Street, so I fully approve of your option.
Yes.
Commissioner
I was
Spezia?
going to say, yeah, that Uno's may rest in peace, but I'm excited that that this is a much more innovative way of making sure that your sewage is connected, and then also, yeah, just, I can't imagine what it would look like to just cut across all of that Amherst Street. It's a very busy part of Amherst Street, so anything to make sure that our residents don't have to, and people who travel in and out of the city to not have to, like, construction is tough enough. If we could limit that, it'd be great. So I'm in support of that for this.
Any additional questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Commissioner Gregg, I believe. Is it? I don't know. I lost track. Commissioner Gregg, do you have a motion?
Yes, I do. I move to approve change order number 2 to New Hampshire Route 111 EB and WB over the Merrimack River Bridge Deck Rehabilitations to Beck and Bellucci of Franklin, New Hampshire, in an amount not to exceed $159,799.61. Funding through Department 160 Admin Engineering, Funds, Grant and Capital, Activities, Bridge Rehab in Taylor Falls, and Veterans Bridge.
So City Engineer Hudson speaking on this. So we're continuing to progress this project, rehabilitates the two bridges noted, Veterans Bridge and Taylor Falls Bridge, which carry New Hampshire Route 111 eastbound and westbound over the Merrimack River. Jointly doing this project jointly with Hudson. We completed most of the westbound bridge work last year. We did run into some weather, so we weren't able to completely finish the membrane and decking, so they'll have to return to do one of the lanes, membrane and paving on one of the lanes later this year. But in doing that work, we did run into some overruns on some quantities. Of course, this contract with DOT was for the two bridges, actually Beck and Bellucci was for the two bridges. So what this does is this change right here kind of rebalances based upon what we learned on the first bridge. We would expect to see similar conditions on the eastbound bridge, which was built 1 year later than the westbound bridge. So we're kind of, this is doing some rebalancing with quantities and adding some quantities to encompass what we expect to encounter this summer on the other bridge. Be happy to address any questions.
Alderman O'Brien.
Yes, through you to Director Hudson. Our bridges, we go halfway, and we coordinate with the town of Hudson, correct? So they're meeting their obligations on these projects?
Yeah, excellent question. So yes, they're jointly owned. There's local match for this project is 20% because it is a partially federally funded project. That 20% we're splitting 50-50 with Hudson, so they're paying 10%, we're paying 10%. So good value for the communities to get these bridges rehabbed. But yes, we do jointly share ownership of those bridges.
Commissioner Spiti.
On the bridge construction, do we have a timeline and schedule on how much longer that goes through?
So yeah, so it does run through the rest of the season. There's some additional work. We may be back for another change order, frankly, because the lighting on the bridges needs some work. So there's some things that may extend the schedule. But currently, it runs, into October timeframe. We do expect to complete all work this year, but I do expect to be back for another change order, probably for a couple final items that we just weren't able to get into this change order, but we need to get this one done to keep the work progressing. But it is anticipated to be completed this season.
Any additional questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Commissioner Lemon, do you have a motion?
I move to approve change order 1 to the 2025 CIPP lining of sewer interceptor project with Instituform Technologies, LLC of Chesterfield, Missouri, in an amount not to exceed $613,289. Funding will be through Department 169 Wastewater Fund, Bond, Activity, Sewer Rehab.
So we have two lining contracts underway currently. Instituform has one of them, and they're doing the large sewer interceptor piping. Frankly, we had a much bigger project that we bid out, and pricing came in way under where we thought it was going to. So what we're trying to do is add back in some of the work that we had originally intended to do, but hadn't included because we were concerned that the pricing would be too high. So this just allows us to line more pipes that are in need of pipelining, and this is especially important given that these are the larger sewer interceptors and carry a bulk of the flow. So I'd be happy to address any questions.
Are there any questions? Comments? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Commissioner Gregg, do you have a motion?
I motion to approve the award of the construction contract for the Amherst Street fiber optic expansion and signal integration to Phoenix Communications of Shrewsbury, Mass., and a change order number 1 in the aggregate amount not to exceed $110,000. Funding through Departments 161 Streets and 160 Admin Engineering, Funds General Fund Escrow and Trust. Activity Fiber Traffic Cabinets Upgrade, $63,655, and Trust Fund Amherst Street Traffic Mitigation, $46,345.
So that's a long motion, I apologize for that, but this project involves extending the city's fiber optic network further out Amherst Street. Currently, it terminates at Blackstone Drive. We want to run it out to Northwestern Boulevard. It's about additional 3,500 feet. Also, we would tie 7 traffic signals into that network, which enables us to be able to communicate with them and download traffic data and check conditions, that sort of thing, right here from our office. We bid this project out. As you can see, Phoenix Communications of Shrewsbury, Mass. Was a very low bid compared to the rest. We reached out to them trying to confirm that they understood everything in the bid and they had missed some things. And so in the best interest of the city financially, we decided to meet with them and negotiate a change order 1, which we would execute concurrently with execution of the main contract. At that time, we hadn't been through that negotiation, so we put a not to exceed of $110,000. So it would still be lower than the next highest bidder with their alternate. Negotiations with them, we're coming in around $80,000, I think, so total all in. So we are requesting to move ahead with them and to execute that change order concurrently to make the complete project. I'll be happy to address any questions.
Any questions or comments? Alderman O'Brien.
Yes, through the chair to Engineer Hudson. Any conversation with the fire department? I know they upgraded and went to the optical system. There's talk of futuristic expansions at some point in time. So did you have any communication with them to put the right size? Because I imagine at some point we're going to have conduit arguments, whether to lay new conduit or not, so.
Yeah, we have communicated with them. So they have a fire communications wire, copper wire that runs along this length of segment. This fiber optic gets installed on the pole, basically the same place, is structured and allows for them to convert to fiber optic communication for their network as well. So yes, it's done in collaboration with them.
Good.
Alderman Dowd.
Dan, this is going to go on the regular poles.
Yes.
So while you're here, every time they put in a new telephone pole, they move the electrical works, and the rest of the wires stay on the old pole. There are some places, like on Kinsley Street, where the old wires are being on a piece that's just hanging off the new pole. Would it make sense for us to do any kind of legislation to say, hey, if you replace your pole, all of that stuff has to move at the same time, or we're going to fine you?
It's an excellent question. It is a challenging thing. When a new pole gets set, electric usually transfers. Of course, Eversource is the pole owner, so they do that pretty quickly. And then there's a system called engine system where they notify the next lowest line owner of the facility, the next lower on the pole. That transfers and goes on forth down the pole until ultimately everybody's transferred, and then the old pole gets pulled. But we have seen lots of challenges with that. There's a lot of communication companies, and those transfers don't happen timely. Lots of cases, sometimes it's years and years, and hasn't happened. So we're in constant communication with Eversource, trying to push them to get some of those double poles, get the lines transferred and get the double poles removed. I'm not sure what the city's authority is. I know they're PUC regulated. I know there have been communities that have tried to bring new PUC requirements forward at that level. So I don't know if, as I have a great answer for you, we'd need to consult with our city legal, probably, to determine what we're allowed to do and not allowed to do in terms of requirements. But anything that could expedite that process would be a good thing, because it isn't happening like it should be happening. You're welcome.
Any additional questions or comments? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, Commissioner Espetia.
Move to approve change order number 10 to the 2023 Sewer Rehabilitation Program, Contract 3 with RWC Enterprises of Nashua, NH, in an amount not to exceed $685,000. Funding will be through Department 169 Wastewater Fund, Bond Activity Stormwater Management.
So RWC, as noted, is engaged in a contract to do sewer work and drain work for us throughout the city. They've been doing that. We've had a number of change orders, this being change order number 10 proposed. Things have been going well. We're just continuing to request additional funding authority so we can continue to make more and more repairs. We do have 2 other contractors in the city doing similar work for us. So we're busy, but we're accomplishing a lot, which is good, and we want to continue the work with RWC in addition to the others. We are amending a 2023 contract. They're still holding their pricing within purchasing's policy in terms of how much pricing can increase before we need to rebid. So we are seeking to continue with them at another $685,000 of work. So yeah, happy to address any questions.
Any questions? Comments? All in favor?
Aye.
I believe is item H, is that informational?
Informational, yeah.
Okay. So item H is informational. We will move on to Director Photos report.
Okay, this first slide is a picture from April 21st that shows the Performance Pavilion structure at Renaissance Park, which is going to be pretty cool. We will eliminate the graffiti behind it. The next slide is Continental Paving, Mill Temple and Spring Streets on May 9th as part of our annual paving program. Sunshine Paving is shown paving Russell Street on May 9th. This emergency sewer repair was done by Chris Contracting at 7375 Lock Street on May 5th under a contract with the city. This is a picture of Holman Stadium. I normally wouldn't include this, but the superintendent is so proud of the grass at Holman that I had to show you how great it looks.
That's great.
He's worked really hard to make it the quality that it is. This is the Parks Department getting Rotary Pool ready. They're power washing it. That needs to be done before we can, of course, fill it with water. This is a picture you'll recall. We purchased you approved an autonomous lining machine. This is a turf tank, and this has been working really well, saving a lot of labor and staff hours by being able to paint the field. So we're very excited to have this. This is a picture of, it says on the slide, Greeley Park. We started, the Parks Department has been fertilizing fields since the last week of April. We took down some trees around the Stone House on April 17th to get ready for the Stone House renovation. This is Arbor Day at Charlotte Ave Elementary School on April 25th. The 2nd and 4th grades joined us and the 2nd grade sang a fantastic tree song. So special thanks to Mayor Donchis and Commissioner Espedia for joining us. We have hired all of our lifeguards for the summer. That is always something that really worries us. We had a great turnout this year. They're all hired and they are getting trained as we speak. And swim lesson registrations are open and filling up quickly. So if you are interested in swim lessons, it would be a good idea to
Director
sign
Photo,
up.
when do the pools open?
That was my next
Oh.
one. They're tentatively scheduled to open on June 26th. So. And we have Superintendent Conant mentioned earlier, opening day and DPW day. We have really upped our game. It's going to be a great day. Everybody has to come. We have an all-new lineup. We have jugglers, musical acts, superheroes, meet and greets, and we have, of course, our DPW Touch-A Truck, We even have a train ride for the kids this year. So we have a bubble area, hop-along area, carnival games, and more. So please join us, and if you can get the word out on all your Facebook sites, that would be awesome. You can just take our post from our Public Works page and share it. And it is Saturday, June 7th at 10 a.m. At Greeley Park. Also a great opportunity to learn more about Public Works and what we do, and also to ask questions. So we welcome, we hope we get a great turnout, and please, let's all hope for sunshine. This is streets replacing some guardrail on Tinker Road. Alderman Dowd's familiar with that. There was a bollard here on East Pearl Street that was struck by a vehicle, and this is just a picture of us removing and repairing it.
Thank you for replacing that.
Right now, I think that was a request that you made, Commissioner Lemon. So, this is we have an ongoing issue with homeless encampments in Mine Falls Park, and this isn't an easy issue, and a lot of folks think that we should just, always move them along, but the reality of it is we need to show a little compassion. These folks do need a place to be. And so, but we're doing our best to keep the park clean and to keep everyone safe. So this is just a picture of a cleanup.
The other night, and the police officers now, when they go on the downtown Nashua bike patrols, they're going to leave from the station and go through Mines Falls to add additional coverage to Mines Falls.
That's great.
It's a good idea. Yeah. This is a picture of some rail fence at Harris and Conant Road that was falling down and repaired. This is curb repair at the corner of Main and West Pearl. We installed a new water line for this building out here that the park department's using, the old Bricks Garage building. So now they have water, which is going to be extremely helpful. The dry well upgrade at the wastewater plant included a new bubbler and control panel. The bubbler is used as a level indicator in the wet well.
See, the bubbler I know is the thing with the water.
The thing that you drink.
water fountain.
Yeah.
Different kind of bubble.
Yeah, this is a little more complicated. This is a wastewater mechanic repairing one of the HVAC units. The next household hazardous waste collection will be held on Thursday, June 5th at Crown Street in Nashua, of course, from 3 to 7 p.m. And thanks to Sherry Dutsey, there will be a styrofoam collection on Saturday, June 14th. Some volunteers, including Sherry, will be here to collect the styrofoam, and they will be transporting it to Guilford for recycling. So, and if that's something that is very popular, it would be something that we look at doing permanently here. The Fort Hills Landfill and Natural Recycling Center will be closed on Monday, May 26th, of course, in observance of Memorial Day, and all collections will be delayed by 1 day.
Thank you very much. Was
That's
that
it.
the-
Questions? There was a lot.
No, it's good.
A lot of
It was
information.
great. Thank you very much. That's great. Any questions? Alderman Dow.
We had one thing, Stella Stadium, the painting underneath the concourse. We're going to approve, hopefully at 7 o'clock tonight, to use that company that, I'm trying to think of the name of it, they advertise on doing houses. It's not paint, can't think of the name of it. But it's got an 8-year guarantee versus regular painting, which is, the regular painting costs almost as much and only has a 1-year guarantee. So you get an 8-year guarantee.
Is that like a partial enamel paint or something like that?
It's, Rhino Shield.
Cool.
We
Any additional questions?
investigated that because it lasts a lot longer, they have at least an 8-year guarantee. If anything happens, they come back and fix it for nothing. So
cool. And I think that's the company that makes the truck bed liner, isn't it?
I think so.
The spray-in truck bed liner, so they're like super adept at the high-impact, long-lasting stuff.
Yeah.
Very good. All right, any additional questions? Yes?
It's not a question, it's just a observation. The Roby Park Disc Golf approval got through the planning board?
It did, yes.
Okay,
It's exciting.
great.
Can we all cheer?
Yeah.
that's very exciting. This is what, a four
We
year,
have been
5
at this since
I think about 7 or 8.
2000, yeah.
7 or 8, okay.
Since 2000?
Since 2000.
Yes,
Okay.
we have been trying to
3
get this done.
zeros.
And so, Commissioner Shea, you were involved in the very early stages of really helping to move this along. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
It has been a long haul. We had a small group of people who opposed the project, and boy, it was a tough road, but I really have to hand it to the disc golf community because they really came out and support, and this is going to be a great thing, and I'm really excited to bring this for Nashua residents. It's not, you wrote a beautiful article, and that was in the Telegraph quite a few years ago.
Yeah.
Remember? Do you remember?
Vaguely, yeah. I read a lot.
It was a long time ago. And, but it's something that can be played by all ages. It's free. It's just going to be it'll get people out in wooded areas and doing something really positive and healthy. So I'm very excited about this.
Is there anything else that they still need to do for that?
There is is there any other approvals?
Yeah.
No, that was our final approval.
There you go. Wow. That is
Very
exciting.
It's great.
We went through a lot, though.
Yeah, I know.
But the work is so worth it, and it's so good for Nashua that you and other people are willing to do that.
Yeah, awesome.
It means a lot. It's very exciting, so thank you. Yeah. All right. Any additional questions or comments? No. Thank you very much. Thank you again. I'm going to go with Commissioner Gregg. Do you have a motion?
I motion to approve and unseal the non-public minutes for personnel from the Board of Public Works meeting of April 22nd, 2025.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Commissioner Esposito.
Move to accept the resignation of Mr. Adam Cordero. Yeah, we can do this.
Did I miss a what? Did we miss a
No,
No, sorry, I just thought that this, I
not yet.
Okay.
didn't know if it was public or non-public.
Almost there. Collection systems operator effective May 2nd, 2025.
Any discussion? All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Motion passes. Commissioner Lemon, do you have a motion?
Motion to accept the retirement of Robert Munier, engineering inspector, effective May 31st, 2025.
Wow, 35 years.
All right. Is there any discussion? Yes.
I don't know if Engineer Hudson wants to say anything, but I do want to thank Bob for his service to the city. He's been with the city for over 30 years and, has put a lot of time and effort and has been a great employee. And he's earned this retirement. We wish him well, but we really thank him for his service. And I don't know if you want to add anything.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to echo the director's comments. Bob's been super helpful to the department out there, dealing with contractors, watching things get constructed, trying to guide them to give us what we need, and it's a challenging job. And he's done it well with poise and really with a strong desire for the city to see things get done the right way. I'm going to miss Bob. I'm going to miss his stories. He's been here so long. He has a great stories over all the years of things that have happened in the city and things that have occurred throughout his work life. So we'll miss him, and we wish him well, and he definitely deserves this retirement. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Commissioner Gregg, do you have a motion?
I motion to accept the resignation of Timothy Lara, mechanic first class, effective June 4th, 2025.
Any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Let's see. Does this go straight to Commissioner Lemon, I believe? I read that one?
We,
No.
I got it this time.
Oh, he's got the sheet,
I
okay.
got the sheet.
Got the sheet.
Okay. Let's see, so Commissioner Spitia, do you have a motion?
I move by roll call that the board go into non-public session pursuant to RSA 91-8:3 to be the hiring of any person as a public employee.
Commissioner Shea?
Yes.
Commissioner Lemon?
Yes.
Commissioner Gregg?
Yes.
Commissioner Speedio?
Yes.
are we all set?
Yep.
Okay. Didn't do the last one.
I move by roll call to seal the minutes of the Board of Public Works Personnel non-public meeting of May 22nd, 2025, until such time as the majority of the board votes that the purpose of the confidentiality would no longer be served.
Commissioner Shea?
Yes.
Commissioner Lemon?
Yes.
Commissioner Gregg?
Yes.
Commissioner Speedio?
Yes.
All right, are there any additional motions? Anybody want to know? Commissioner Lemon?
I move that we adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.